with the sponsors. It's time to start. Enjoy the show.
Well, a very good day to one and all. This is Betting Weekly Saturday live Premier League show. You're with Dan Roebuck alongside me, Nigel Seeley and Jack Wright. Match day one of the new Premier League season. Something new for everyone. Live from now till not quite to kick off, but just before. We've got all the best picks and props now that the teams are beginning to filter through up and down the country in the Premier League. 10 a.m. Eastern kickoffs, of course, 3 p.m. local. 3 games getting underway in around about an hour's time. But one that's underway at the moment. You want some in play? Nigel and Jack are hopefully going to give you some. Villa Newcastle, Nigel, this has been a tough watch for us, hasn't it? 0-0, red card. Newcastle a short price jollies. Can they get that late goal? We've got about, 15 minutes plus added on time remaining.
Well, what I've seen in the first 75 minutes of this match, there's absolutely no way that Aston Villa are going to get this goal in this main. It's been a very, very dominant performance by Newcastle. They would have won this game by 2 goals clear if Isaac was played. And there's no doubt about it. Harvey Barnes has been putting some great balls in, and the makeshift centre forward is Gordon, and he can't convert. Villa have been very, very, very disappointed. It's backs against the wall for Villa here, and they're plus 750 in play with Bet Rivers now. Newcastle are plus 163, and the tie is minus 136. I'm going to sound quite predictable, but we said at the beginning of the Premier League show we haven't had a 0-0. The 0-0 detector has been sacked since 2007, and the first match on a Saturday, I got a feeling this is going to be 0-0. Under you can bet the tie at minus 136, or you can bet under half a goal at minus 117. The only way this is going to be a draw if it's 0-0. So under half a goal at minus 117. Villa are offering nothing, and Newcastle without Isaac, without that sort of that goal scoring threat they have. So this is a 0-0 draw for me.
Look, it could be 0-0, but there could be 20 minutes remaining here. We've had a red card as well. You see, as a bit of a muggy punter as I am sometimes, I look at this and I think 0-0.
Sometimes.
I think 0-0. Newcastle on top here. Villa down to 10 men. Why are taking the plus 160, plus 170? Jack, what do you made of it?
Well, yeah, I've made the same of it as Nigel. It's been absolutely horrendous from Villa. Such a surprise. They came out in the second half better. Couldn't have been worse, to be fair. They got the Unai Emery rocket, absolutely for certain. Could have scored that ball in from Tielemans. That should have been finished off. Wasn't. Newcastle are pressing now. I must confess, if I was having a bet here, I'd go against Nigel. I'd be going for over 0.5 goals. Keeping on the chance that Villa can't snick one still, but that's now plus 100 for over 0.5 goals. Goals to be scored plus 100. No goals to be scored, minus 134. So traders fancy it to be 0-0, like Nigel does. I'll go against them.
Should we have an even 50, Jack, to start the season?
Why not? Let's go. Why not?
Oh,
There we
0-0.
go.
Jack's got to go.
This is what it's all about. A little bit of in-play between the boys. A little bit of in-play. Listen, get your comments in quick.
I'll have the appearance fee on it. So a tenner.
Yeah, no problem. No, we said 1 appearance fee, not 3 appearance fees.
Listen, get your comments in here because he's in-play betting. We've got, 15 minutes technically, plus added on time. We're going to be with you for the remainder of this game and for the next sort of 40 minutes or so, talking about the 3 games that kick off at 3 o'clock. There's a little bit of championship chat from Nigel and Jack as well. What do you think is going to happen, boys? We've got Leslie Mack in. Also, Ian Lights Out in the comments as well. Steve saying thanks for the efforts. Husey saying come on Pompey, talking about EFL. Neil talking about Wrexham and the Baggies as well. What else have we got here? Do we? I just think. I mean, Nigel, you mentioned it already, and this is going to be going forward without Isak. Isak's playing. We're betting Newcastle here. Isak's not. It's a completely different thing. Anthony Gordon playing as a centre forward. It's not working for Newcastle.
Well, no, I would look at this match here tonight if I was this afternoon, sorry, and I'd look at the Villa side and look at the Newcastle side. And if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be very excited what I see here. If they can get Wissa and the service he's going to get in that side, Newcastle will be all right. Villa here, don't look at it. I know it's only week. I know it's week 1. There's lots of things to go, but they don't look fit. They look lethargic. They look nowhere near the levels that Unai Emery would want for that team. So if I'm a Newcastle fan tonight, I know there's a few people in the chat who are Newcastle fans, I think they would look at this match and think, you know what, we've got half a chance. If we can get 2 or 3 signings in here, we'll be all right. If they get Ramsey from Villa and they get Wissa, they're okay. And then they might, is that going for 120 million or whatever it is, and they replace him with these two players, they're okay. They're lacking today one centre forward. If they had a centre forward, it would have been a massive embarrassment.
Nigel, how many times do we hear that? If we had a centre forward, you sound like you're on the North Bank or something.
They're selling. Isaac is their centre forward, and they've come here, but they've got a replacement already in Wissa. Arsenal played for 2 seasons without a replacement. They've got one now, so the pressure's on. They'll get one within 2 weeks. Wissa will be there by next week. Newcastle will do all right.
Listen, Nigel, one more for you for a minute. I'm looking at the prices here, and this is getting to sort of critical mass. 10 minutes to go, and we've seen some wild price changes here because the market's got to react to the amount of time that's still remaining. Newcastle are drifting. The draw, the tie is getting a little bit shorter. Villa are now double figures here. I mean, is this the type of time that you get involved, or do you think, do you know what, my bet's gone now? What do you think? You're not seeing anything in this for a late play for you?
Well, my strategy always at this kind of time, when we get to 70 minutes or so, is always to back nothing ever happens in a football match. And obviously, in recent years, that's been a bit of a disaster. But I just don't think Newcastle will score in this match because of the reasons we said. And I think Aston Villa have got 10 men behind the ball, and they are just defending for their lives. And the one thing they can do is defend. The goalkeeper, Martinez, was out today, but the Villa goalkeeper is the man. He's the man of the match for me. Brilliant performance, but Newcastle just don't have that finishing threat. So I'm all over the under. Under half a goal now. 0-0 in the game is -159. It was plus -180. So my strategy is always to hope we don't get a late goal. That's how I bet. Obviously, other people will hope there's a late goal, but for me, I live on the edge.
Jack, I know you're going to be across team news when it's filtering in for the other games, but just sticking on this game because it's ongoing, looking at one or two of the stats here. I mean, expected goals gurus like you and myself, Jack. I'll park Nigel to one side for now. 1.38 Newcastle, 0.1 for Aston Villa. But Newcastle have only had 2 shots on target here. I mean, they're not. I mean, what I'm going to take out of this is sort of what Nigel's saying. No Isak, no. I mean, they should be beating Villa with 10 men here. I want to play them at 2-1. What do you think?
I'll take your bet as well.
There we go. This is the most profitable show he's done. Oh, hang on. You might have come back to me. Portsmouth. No, I think, look, it's obvious, isn't it? With Isak missing, what he brought to the team last season, all those goals, just incredible. And they completely missed him today. And obviously, it knits the team together. It creates space elsewhere as well. And they haven't got anyone anywhere close to that level of goal scoring ability. And look, not many sides have. He's one of probably the top 3 centre forwards, certainly in the Premier League, and you could possibly stretch that out across Europe. So look, it's a massive miss. But they keep creating these decent chances. But as you say, only 2 shots on target. It's the same as Villa.
The other thing I was about to say about this game, Nigel, obviously the red card has skewed it in terms of the odds a little bit late on. But the first half, Villa didn't have a shot on target. Me and you have backed Villa in various sort of markets, sort of seasonal markets. I mean, it's only the first 45 minutes or first 90 of the season here. But I'm a little bit concerned about it. They haven't made the signings. Players are going out rather than coming in. We've got a lot of Villa fans that tune into the show. Are we going to have a bit of a rebase sooner rather than later with Villa going forward?
I think you're going to definitely get a rebase tonight on the back of this match. But you've got a very good manager. A world-class manager, a manager that knows how to win things, a manager will change things. They've got a big enough squad now. I wouldn't worry too much after one match, but this has been a very disappointing start for Villa fans. They will come away from this match feeling down in the dumps, thinking what we got for the season, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay. We'll be. I don't know about your match bet with Manchester United, but my over 58.5 points, I'm not too worried about that.
I'm disappointed with Villa a little bit today. I know they've not made too many signings. Cons has been sent off. 3rd red card in the last 4 games for Villa. They didn't have that many in the previous 50. I just wonder if they're going to get a little bit ragged from here on in. But going back to Newcastle, one last one for Jack here. I mean, Elanga has made his debut today, and I thought he's basically Jacob Murphy's replacement, isn't he, over on that right-hand side?
Yeah.
He should be an upgrade. But from what I can see, he's not really done too much.
He's got to go some to upgrade what Jacob Murphy did last season.
He was brilliant, wasn't he, last season?
The assists he provided, the confidence he had, you could see it, and that's a massive pair of shoes to fill, massive pair of boots to fill. And he's fallen short today. He obviously had a decent enough season at Forest last season, but I think Jacob Murphy has earned the right to kind of lose his place rather than just having it taken away from him because of what he did last season. So, look, it's for Newcastle going to Villa, which we know is one of the toughest venues to go to in the Premier League. With all the noise that was around them, they have definitely rolled their sleeves up and said a bit of siege mentality here. Let's show them and let's stick it to his act, saying that we've still got it amongst us to put in a good performance. They do need someone to finish the chances off. So who are they going to get in? That's the question, because it's not going to be Isak, is it?
5 minutes to go until the 90, then we'll get added on time. If you're playing a late bet, let us know. Talking Punting is saying Newcastle look much sharper and fitter than Villa. A lot of people talking about some of the FL games. The boys are going to give you some thoughts on the 3 p.m. local kickoffs, 10 a.m. Eastern, a little bit later on. We are going to go around the grounds for the 3 o'clock kickoffs. We've got the team news in. We're going to kick off, Jack, with the game featuring, if I can find it here, Tottenham and Burnley, because I guess the interesting thing from a debut point of view here is the fact that Mohamed Kudus does start here. Obviously had a good season with West Ham last campaign. In terms of the Spurs team, though, Jack, off the back of that, I don't know, we talked about it on the Premier League show. I still think it's a disappointing result against PSG, even though they drew with the European champions, got beaten a penalty shootout. They threw away a 2-goal lead. I mean, what do you expect of Tottenham's new signings, or even Burnley's new signings for that matter?
Well, I'll tell you what I am shocked about is Palhinha's not starting. He's on the bench. They've got Gray and Bergvall in the middle of the park. It looks like a very rotated side. It's as if they've played half a season and had a tough night out in Europe during the week. Gray in, Bergvall in. Yeah, Kudus is there. Brennan Johnson comes in from the side that was out during the week. The player that I've earmarked, on the Premier League show, Papa Sarr, playing in that number 10 role that James Maddison would have had if he hadn't done his ACL. He's the guy that I'd be focusing on. And also Porro. He's on all free kicks, all corners. And this is a bit of a new look Burnley defence, don't forget. So I think the set pieces are going to be crucial. Romero, Van de Ven, Porro taking them. Richarlison up top. Someone's mentioned there. Solanke is on the bench. So yeah, Richarlison will have his opportunity to grab it. Look out for Kudus. But Sarr, my main man in the forward area. Porro from set pieces. And it'll be interesting to see this Burnley defence. Obviously, no James Trafford. So Dubravka makes his debut in goal. And they've got Ekdal and Esteve in as far as their centre-backs concerned, showing that possibly Kyle Walker making his debut as well for them could be playing as a right-sided centre-back. They look like they might be lining up as a 5. We'll have to see once that one starts. But it's kind of as you are a little bit further forward for them. But it'll be interesting to see what Spurs do with that lineup that they've put out there.
That is the lineup. That's the market. I mean, Spurs with minus $2 ahead of kickoff. Burnley plus 575. I mean, Nigel, any sort of market movements now? We know the teams. We've got Kudus in. Solanke isn't starting. Any sort of market interest, market movements for Spurs or Burnley?
Well, there's been a massive market negative for Tottenham. Started off in the week minus $3. When we did the Premier League show, there was minus 278. They're now minus $2. I think people are putting a lot of emphasis on the fact that Dominic Solanke doesn't start. We are very keen on Dominic Solanke on this channel, but he's on the bench. You know, he's not that he's not going to feature. He didn't feature, probably not match ready, but if he needs to be called upon, I think he'll be called upon. The other move that has been a big move is for the unders here. A big move for the unders. Unders minus 105, over minus 120. We've spoken about how exciting we think that Tottenham might be under Thomas Frank this season. We saw him play a 2-2 draw against the Champions of Europe PSG in midweek. There is also a negative. The negative is always for teams that travel back from Europe in midweek. And I think it's a big Far East syndicate move for Burnley here on the Asian handicap. But I think that Tottenham will still win this match. We know that Burnley are a side that we all believe are a fave for this season. And I think Tottenham at minus $2. I put them into the last man standing competition down my social club this week. So I'm not very happy to see them going minus $2 without Solanke. I'll bet Solanke as well. But I think if you are a big bettor, if you're someone who likes the short price, I think that side at minus $2 should beat this Burnley side. Burnley are for plus 575 from $7, and it's 320 to draw from an opening 420. So there is a move on the Asian market. The match is now a 1-goal market from a 1.25 market, and that is why this move has come. They've seen the Solanke move. There's always a negative for the big syndicates when teams play in midweek, and that is exactly what's happened here. No Solanke. tough match, penalty shootout in midweek. The market wants to get rid of it. But I think Tottenham at -$2, I wouldn't be worried if I've got them in my parlay this week. I still think they'll win.
Yeah, I think they will as well. I think it'll be close, though. I can see why people are getting with Burnley. I mean, when Burnley have played Spurs, I know it's not been that regular. They're in different divisions. But, you tend to think they're going to set up fairly defensively. They've only been beaten by a goal. So I can see why Burnley might, punters might want to get with them +1.5, +1.25. But if it's now just a 1-goal game, as you mentioned, then it puts a very different spin.
It's -130. It's -130. So essentially, if you've got a favourite at -$2, I love that Asian handicap -1. If you fancy him, because you're getting -30, obviously then when you get your money back to no risk, you're still doing the same thing, aren't you? Essentially, you still bet them to win the match and hoping that they win by two goals. I know they made changes, but this is every person in this Tottenham squad today will want to make a point for the new manager. Players on the bench to change the game. -$2, a big reaction.
Does that win to nil interest you, Nigel? +125?
Yeah, Random Walks put Spurs wins to nil.
I mean, it could be, but it's obviously. I just didn't. Last season we said in the Premier League show, Tottenham got beat by 2 recently promoted clubs in the season. They're always everyone's got this Spursy kind of thing. The fact that people, I would probably bet a -130 just to win the match because they get. I'd rather take that. I mean, there's better win to nil options, and obviously under Thomas Frank. Brentford over the years have always conceded goals, but always had the confidence they can score 4 or 5. So I think it's going to be exciting today for Tottenham fans, but I think -$2 is a big overreaction.
Just remind us, Jack, of because you've got a bit of a lean. I can't remember if it was an official play. It was just a lean for the Premier League show, but that's looking pretty positive, isn't it, that one?
Yeah, so the lean was for Sarr to have a shot on target. I was then seeing what his price was now. He's in that 10 role that I expected him to be in. As I said, he gets forward lots. He was very unlucky not to score the other night. Very unlucky not to have at least a shot on target with how it went. But he's now -103 for a shot on target. So we got plus money on the show during the week. So again, there is support for that, and you would expect that given where he's lining up here. And he's a player that will generally get a fair chunk of the 90 minutes as well.
Yeah, just a random stat on Solanke, just looking at some of the numbers here. When Solanke started for Spurs last season in the Premier League, if you bet over 3.5 goals every single time that he started, +344, he was a player that made a difference. And I think you're right, Nigel. That's why the odds have changed so much, because he's a difference maker for Spurs. I know we're all on him in seasonal bets, but he's a big miss for Spurs.
Just one thing, one thing today. Jack will probably know this more than me. Obviously, we've got no Son, we've got no Maddison, and we've got no Solanke. He'll be taking the pens for Tottenham if they get a pen. That could be an interesting angle.
Yeah, that is an interesting one.
That is one. I don't know. I'll try and dig it out.
Would it be Sarr? Would it be Sarr? Yeah.
He'll be there for the fight. No, I'd guess not. No, I reckon Porro might have a chance. I'm trying to think what happened in the penalty shootout the other night. They had Solanke up first, but Porro took his very, very confidently. So he's on their set pieces, which can sometimes be a link in. But I'll see if I've got a little bit of. I'll have a dig while you.
That could be a good angle for any time goal scorer or first goal scorer, a player that is going to be on penalties. That we know the market hasn't realised just yet.
They had 4 penalties last year. Son converted 1 from 2. Solanke 1 from 1, and Mattis Tell 1 from 1. So it'll have to be someone different, won't it, this time?
We were still guessing then.
That was absolutely no use to us whatsoever, Mr. Roebuck.
No, well, I'm just trying to point people in the direction.
Well, you put them in the wrong direction.
Listen, EPL Weekly Second Chance for Bet Rivers account holders. Players who opt in on the Bet Rivers app will receive 2 weekly EPL Second Chance tokens for 3-leg EPL parlays. If a player loses the wager where a Second Chance token was applied, then they will receive a bonus bet equal to their stake. Head to the Bet Rivers app or the website for full details of that. Let's get a little bit
My little cheat sheet says there will be Richarlison. Richarlison is what I've been told by my cheat sheet. Yeah. So we'll have to see if that one comes to pass. But
what have we got? What's the score in the Villa game, Nigel?
I'm not going to say about it's 0-0 still. It's going to be 0-0.
How many minutes have added on?
3 minutes to go.
6 minutes on. So hang on a minute. So are you taking? What was your initial
Jack
bet
can
right
cash
off
out.
the bat?
Jack can cash out for 40 quid if he wants.
Yeah, no.
What have we got here? Yeah, Hughesy saying Richarlison took 4 penalties for Everton, 1 for Spurs in the Europa League last season. Good knowledge from Hughesy. What else have we got? Losden says
Time
quite
to come up
like...
with something decent. Other than that Pompey stuff he's coming banging on about.
Yeah, exactly. Lozitron says, quite like a little play, Sunderland to win, or on the Asian handicap, stage of light will be bouncing. Let's get some team news, first of all, on that one. Jack, have we got any interesting starters for either Sunderland or West Ham in that one?
Let's have a little look, see what we've got there. Lots of starters. Obviously, the main man for Sunderland.
Look at this.
hang on a minute.
I can't believe it.
We've only just got the team for you. Get in there. Well done, John.
Look at that.
I might as well go. I was going to watch the end of the Portsmouth game. Granit Xhaka is the standout. Obviously, we've talked about him being a bit of a coup signing for Sunderland. And Adingra as well is another one that's come in there. But obviously got a few new faces in there. Not that many. I'd probably suggest household names, but a couple of their solid defenders from last season there, Trey Hume and Daniel Ballard. Ballard's a big, strong centre-back that impressed last season. And obviously the goalkeeper, Patterson, was their number one last season. Roofs is in goal now for that one. So West Ham, they've got Mads Hermansson in goal for them. That's just their new signing. And looking through that, I say the interesting thing, it would appear from how it looks like they're going to set up, is a 3 at the back, wing backs, but with Bowen and Fulkrug playing as a central 2 up front with Paquetá in behind them. If they line up like that, that could well also be my hot dog getting me out of jail for looking like 2 units lost on Villa. Need him to score at plus 200. So, he's in the line-up as it stands here, down the middle, up top with Fulkrug helping him out.
Interesting lineup, Nigel. I don't know if we've seen any market movements. I don't think there's any real big surprises.
There
Xhaka's
is
starting. What do we think market-wise?
Well, on the money line, there hasn't really been much of a market move. A slight little move for Sunderland. Started off in a week at plus 250. They then went down to 230, and then they've drifted back out to 245. So the market is pretty much as it was when we recorded the Premier League show on Thursday. But the big move here is for under 2.5 goals. Massive move. Minus 155 now, under 2.5 goals in this match. Me and Jack had a bit of a disagreement on this match. We agreed a lot of stuff. Jack liked the over, I liked the under. I don't know if he wants to double up the Aston Villa winners on the over and under. But I think both of these sides would really be happy for a draw. And the draw here is one of the shortest prices we have seen for a draw on the opening day of a Premier League season. It's plus 205 the draw. Very, very rare that you get a draw at 2-1 or around 2-1 in an opening day of the Premier League season. It is short here. The market likes to draw. The market thinks that both of these sides will play out a very happy with a point. Both managers need to get off to a good start. And I believe here the market likes unders. They like the draw. Tentative move for Sunderland, but a very, very, very slow moving market in terms of volume. And as we're saying that, Aston Villa nil, Newcastle nil. Jack, I'm going to take it off the invoice for.
No worries. Yeah.
But Villa fan in the comments here says, sorry lads, missed the start. Can't say I'm not disappointed from my pre-match hopes, but delighted we aren't losing now in play. I mean, this is it. You got to take the positives, Villa fan. Neil says, Sunderland look big at the price. The crowd will be bouncing. And Nicky says, how's the stadium at Sunderland? Are the fans on top of the players? Well, it's a newish stadium. And do you know what? Whenever I used to go and used to work there, I always thought, yes, the crowd could get, because it's a big stadium and it'll be packed out today. But I always thought that the atmosphere wasn't great unless the team was doing well and they could get on the back of the players a little bit. But what they've done pre-season, so I believe at Sunderland, they've done a lot more around the ground, on the concourses. There's a lot more to sort of welcome the home fans, and it just feels like a better place to watch football, I think. So maybe that will.
It will be rocking.
It'll be bouncing tonight.
First day of the Premier League after the few years they've had coming from League One to the Championship and the way they got up. It'll be absolutely rocking here, and I can understand why home advantage in this match is probably a little bit more than the traditional 0.3 goal home advantage here. I could understand the move. Negative towards West Ham, negative towards goals.
Just one on the price here, Nigel. Is this one of ones if you want to bet overs because there's a move for overs? If literally we're 6 or 7 minutes in, it's still, I know it's a ridiculous thing to say, still 0-0. The price absolutely comes through the floor. You can't wait for this unders. You've got to get on now. Is that what we're saying?
It will do. If it's well, you can always tell when the line move's going to move on the unders when you can see a draw price at around about 2, or if you ever see a draw price at plus 195, plus 180, something like that, you know within 15 minutes the market collapses. So that's a clue in itself. Also, as well, I think that people react to what they've just seen. We've just seen a 0-0 draw. As you said, that's the first 0-0 draw in the Premier League that we've seen since
5 years.
5 years. So on the opening day of the season, not in Premier League as a whole, but it feels like forever when I bet the 0-0. But anyway, that the market reacts to what they've seen. So everyone's just seen the match there played out on unders. First day of the season, they'll do the same. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that line move very, very quickly. I like that unders all along. I think when you've got a team that has so many new players like Sunderland do, it's going to take them a little bit of time to adjust. And I believe that both managers will settle for a draw. I think 1-1, 0-0. Plus 205, the draw. Quite like it.
Your hot dog was in this match, wasn't it, Jack? If you just want to reiterate your hot dog pick.
Yeah, that is Jared Bowen to score at any time. Any one of the 3 or 4 goals that will happen in this game will do for us on that. Yeah.
You missed that one, Nigel.
I heard it. I'm just looking at. Listen, I'm doing my job. I'm looking at the line with Sunderland have drifted out back to plus 250. It's funny this match because there was a little bit of a move for Sunderland. Now the teams have come out in the build up. Everyone's gone for the more traditional side in West Ham, and the line has gone from 250 down to 230, back up to 250 for Sunderland, and West Ham are plus 128 from an opening 125. So the draw is where the bettors across the states are looking at.
Listen, let me tell
Jared
you
Bowen plus 155.
I was just looking at that. Plus 155. If you tuned into the Premier League show, it was released midday Thursday. Jack put up Jared Bowen at plus 205 as a hot dog pick, now plus 155. Jack, and you pointed out straight away, I mean, the way that Opta and all the stats guys have put the West Ham formation, they're suggesting he's going to be one of 2 up front.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I mean, I might be wrong, but... You know,
yeah, there's a chance in and out of possession that might change a little bit, and he'll go into like maybe a 2-10s behind Fulkrug. But I, by the looks of it, and say having a look at 2 or 3 different options, then that's where everyone seems to be going the same thing. Sometimes that isn't quite right, so we have to wait until the game kicks off. But I'm happy with that. And look, to be fair to with Bowen, he's done a lot of his work at West Ham coming in off the right anyway. So he's a threat wherever he is. I like him with Fulkrug there because I think Fulkrug, I know Nigel said he can take goals, which I get, but I think also he likes playing with that big target man up front, that Mikel Antonio that's been there. And if Fulkrug is fit, and we saw him being a right menace during the Euros, didn't we? That he's an old-fashioned battering ram, old school forward. He's got a touch on him as well, but they could well link up. He hasn't really been fit, has he, since he came to West Ham?
Not really.
But I will take that double or quits, Nigel. You know, for the fairness of
get it in the book, get it on the ledger, get it on the ledger. Steve,
you'll be doing the whole year for nothing.
What again? Steve from Lynn. Steve from Lynn says. Steve says half-time draw plus 105 in the West Ham game. Effie, who put up 3 picks for us on the YouTube comments, the European show yesterday, got them all right. Says I disagree. Both teams will go for it. He's going overs. Byron says the boys are back. FG Football says, is this deja vu? No, as you say, we've got different clothes. And never mind, Legia. Look, you must have won money off that game. The 0.75 handicap won your money, FGA. Come on. Byron talking about some European picks he's got for us as well here. Random walks in, do you model for Asian lines and total goals, or is there any point in trying to beat the syndicates? Can we beat the syndicates, Nigel?
Of course we can. We can beat the syndicates. Of course we can.
What else have we got to talk about? One more game. Obviously, teams have been in for a little while for this one. This is Brighton against Fulham that we haven't mentioned so far. Again, this game kicking off in about half an hour. Jack, team news-wise, what's caught your eye?
Well, I'll tell you what has caught my eye. Brighton are playing Jorginho Rutter up front. So Welbeck is on the bench.
Get on, Rutter.
Yeah, he was. I think he scored exactly the same amount of goals. I've said try this stat out. I'm going to be disappointed when this week's over. I've tried this stat out about 10 times already, but he scored the same amount of goals as João Pedro for Brighton from open play last season. But the key thing for me, Minter is there for him, very lively on the wide side, and Mitoma on the other side. So they've got so much going forward. And of course, the main man that has been linked with moves away, apparently now Man United's interest is finished in him. As I said, probably because Brighton don't find it the right time to sell. Belieber starts for Brighton. And the new signing, De Kuiper, who I've been looking forward to seeing. He'll bomb up and down that left-hand side for them in place of Pervis Estupinan, So that's that. Milner on the bench, Danny Welbeck on the bench. So it's a lot aside from 2015 on the bench there. But Fulham, what we got there, not too much to get excited about because we said they haven't really done an awful lot of business in the summer. So the player that I'm looking forward to seeing in this one is Josh King, not the guy that used to...
Youngster, isn't it? Yeah, youngster.
Yeah. The lad in behind the front man there, a very good pre-season. So I'm interested to see him in the Premier League. Harry Wilson is playing as well. He had a very good pre-season. And they've opted for Raul Jimenez up top instead of Rodrigo Muniz, so who is on the bench.
Yeah,
and Emil Smith-Rowe, Adama Traore on the bench as well.
He's linked with a move away, isn't he, as well, Muniz? I think Atalanta have put in a bid for him. I've got Jimenez in my fantasy league team, Nigel. You'll be interested to know. It looks pretty same, Nigel, to me in terms of these two. Rutter up front is a little interesting. Any market surprises with these two?
Well,
we all like Brighton on the show, didn't we, at minus money? What are they now?
Well, they were minus 110. They're now minus 118, just clipped in a point to minus 117. So a slight little move for Brighton. Fulham opened up at plus 290. They're plus 310. The big move again is for unders. Under opened up on the Wednesday show at plus 120. Now approaching kickoff time, plus 105. So that is the big move here again, unders. The trend today on these matches is all moves for unders and all moves, quite big moves for unders as well. So that is that is what the bettors are saying. They like these Premier League games to be quite tight. This match here, obviously, I was quite surprised that Emil Smith-Rowe doesn't play. Obviously, Kearney doesn't play as well. They've given some faith to Harry Wilson. I know someone's put in the chat there, likes Harry Wilson to score at any time. A great pre-season as well. But I think the over here at a price of minus 130 could be a little bit of I've got to see goals. Brighton v Fulham just looks a matchup that you would expect goals. First day of the season, I expect Brighton to win. I think this could be an entertaining watch. But the move for this match, the big move unders, the big move on Sunderland is unders, and the move for Tottenham is anti-Tottenham and again on unders. So the bettors have spoken in the 3 o'clock matches here in the Premier League, and all of them have got a new 0-0 detector for this season, and they're all betting the unders. First game of the season, 0-0. And I haven't cashed one ticket yet.
I tell you what, one of my bets was this weekend. I did it yesterday. I've sold total goals opening Premier League weekend at 30.
After timing. Owen likes after timing.
What do you mean after timing? How many goals was the last night, Nigel?
Yeah, why don't you tell us that at the beginning of the show? Okay.
I give up. I absolutely give up. Well, I won't because I'm back next week.
Jack's giving up because he owes me money now.
Yeah, he does now. Yeah, you won't see him again. I'm looking for 0-0s across the board. We talked about it on the show, and then when there was 6 last night. Hey, listen, I backed Bournemouth plus 1.5 last night. I mean, I've had a shocking start to the season.
Well, we said that thinking there was a lot of money for the draws as well. Obviously, there was no draw last night, and we said that the opening day of the season, if you bet the draw blind, it's minus 22 units. You've just got back 3 units there. Could come the time for the draws. I know you were very heavy about the draws in the Champions League when
I was.
Statistically they weren't. Yeah, and that's why we just kicked you out the spare room we've got here. But that's another one there.
Listen, any last thoughts on Premier League before we get some brief Championship and EFL chat? Any last thoughts, Jack? Nigel, Jack?
Very quick one.
I'm just looking. Sorry. I'm just looking at the market here now. The market is absolutely solid now. Those prices I gave you, plus 250 Sunderland, plus 128 West Ham. Tottenham now even more negative, minus 195.
What's happening there?
That is a huge negative for Tottenham. So negative for Tottenham. Everyone wants to be under goals. That is the collection from the betting movements since the team news has been announced in the Premier League.
Interesting. Ginepi says, hi guys, just took Brighton both teams to score over 2.5 goals, plus 130. It's gone too high as far as Ginepi is concerned. There's a lot of interesting picks in the chat. We've only got 25 minutes until kickoff here. You've got to get to your bets on, but just have a look at the chat as well as the boys' thoughts as well. I know you two guys love the EFL. What you got for us? Who wants to go first? Jack, come on, you go first. What you got? EFL, Championship, League 1, League 2. What should we be betting? Hang on one second. Hang on. Hang on.
Oh.
Okay, go.
Yeah. It's there. Right, good stuff. Well, you already know this one. I'm just going to echo what Lewis Jones has put forward. Millwall is my best bet of the day.
Right.
To beat Middlesbrough. I saw him in the flesh last week. They were impressive. Very strong at the back. Very athletic. Doughty's a great signing out on the left-hand side for them. So look for him as far as assists. Another wing-back, full-back defender that is on set pieces. So he'll be on their free kicks. He'll be on their corners. They've got Jake Cooper at the back, who is about 6'5". Tanganga still at the club. Avoided that Premier League release clause, which is about 1.3 million. I'm shocked no one took a punt on him, to be fair. And Kramer on the other side. So lots. The Millwall are very athletic and have got Ivanovic up top, who is a very, very good striker. It was a handful last week. And Aziz, another good player there. Look for him for plenty of shots. Middlesbrough just have been a constant disappointment, really, to be fair. And I think they're there for the taking. So Rob Edwards has built up a lot of credit. And I think he's kind of whittled in that away a little bit, to be fair. He's got a point to prove. But I think Alex Neil, I like as a manager, and I think Millwall will get this one today.
Nigel, you next. I know, Jack, you've got a few more. Nigel, what you got?
Well, I mean, these were the matches that we put in, and Jack was really. I actually bet Mill earlier in the week at plus 125. Currently, you can get plus 110 with Bet Rivers.
Sorry.
Sorry, what? I don't understand. Anyway, I bet them in the week.
I've got a value.
They're plus.
Are they still value
now.
9? What price are they now? Plus
110 now. With
are they still value?
Now. I don't know. I probably wouldn't bet them a plus 110. Happy with the business I've done, but if you haven't, maybe 110. Mill obviously. Millwall aside, to me, they're the one team that in the Championship, when they're at home, they decide. I think they're going to win that game. And I bet them they let me down. When they don't, I think they're the best bet when they're underdogs away from home. Everyone knows about Millwall, but first day of the season, tough. Obviously one of the most difficult places to go in the Championship. The market has factored into the price, but we're happy to plus 125. The game that I've looked at, is Watford QPR. My team QPR. They've got a new striker in Kone, the guy they've just bought in from Wickham with 2.5 million. I think it's a good player. They're up against a Watford side that I'm not 100% sure about. I would expect goals in that match today. Over 2.5 goals is plus 102. I would look to the goals. Watford are obviously got goals in them. QPR are great for scoring goals as well. I like the plus 102 to goals. I wouldn't back my side at plus 260, but I certainly wouldn't back Watford at minus 115. But I do think both teams will score, and I expect goals in Watford QPR.
Kone's on the bench, Nigel. Would you be looking at him to come off and a few minutes to go and nick a debut goal from the bench?
I think is Freya playing? Is Frey playing up front?
No, Burrell.
Oh, well, don't even know if that. Not the old, not the old.
Paul Burrell.
Paul Burrell, yeah. I just think goals there. I think the way they play up.
Paul Burrell. Hey, listen, Paul Burrell. Listen, Bet Butler's a very different show from a long time ago. We don't need that now. Anything else, Jack? What else you got?
Where have I got? I've got what was the other game we were talking about, Nigel?
Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah. It's hard to oppose Birmingham at the moment. They have come out stronger than I expected, to be fair. Everyone was raving about them. I wasn't too sure, but from what I've seen so far, should have beat Ipswich, beat Sheffield United. So two big sides. I know Sheffield United rotated, but and I am a massive fan of Blackburn. I think they might struggle this season. So I fancy Birmingham to get that one done. Obviously, the hoo-ha is around Furuhashi up top, who got his first goal, but looks a threat in both his games so far. So look for him. Jay Stansfield just in behind him as well. But Furuhashi for Birmingham. Don't get him confused with Ohashi, who's playing for Blackburn.
Just to say, Dan, that Birmingham have been the best bet team in the Championship today with Bet Rivers. I don't know if it's the American connection. Obviously, Tom Brady owns the club, but they opened up at plus 140 in midweek. They're down to plus 108 now. So the biggest move in the Championship is for Birmingham. And before we leave the Championship, there's a big top of the table clash. The top two in the betting, Ipswich and Southampton. Ipswich are the favourites to win it and return to the Premier League. Southampton, obviously, the second favourites, trying to get a return as well. And there has been money for Ipswich in that big match. They are now minus 106. But the big movers of the day, Birmingham in the Championship from plus 145 down to plus 114 now. They were plus 108, drifted about now live at plus 114. Just give you some quick updates on the Premier League before we leave you. See if there's any late moves. Money continues to be a negative for Tottenham. Tottenham now minus 185 from an opening minus 320. Huge negative for Tottenham.
What is going on? Listen, one of the things, just a little bit of housekeeping before we go. First of all, if you've got a Bet Rivers account, there's an awful lot of games you can watch. 7 EFL Championship matches, 7 League One games, 7 League Two matches, 3 La Liga games. If you've not seen the European show with myself, Steve and James yet, some shrewd plays to come when it comes to the action in France and in Spain this weekend. There are 3 Ligue 1 matches streamed on the site as well. Football from Belgium, from Holland, from Portugal, from Turkey, from Sweden. Tennis from Cincinnati. Got a tennis play for us today, Nigel?
No.
Put you on the spot. That's the wrong show now. Notable wages. Near £3 play on City on the money line. We're going to get the boys' thoughts on City and Wolves City before we go. Also, there was money on under 3.5 goals in the Villa game. That cashed easy, didn't it? And a $1,500 play on Sunderland West Ham under 2.5, which is one that Nigel likes. I don't know if it's his $1,500. It might be. Who knows? In terms of where the money's gone from our friends at Bet Rivers for the afternoon games that kick off in about 20 minutes, most of the cash on West Ham and on the overs on that game. Spurs, Burnley, most of the money on Spurs, most of the money on overs. Brighton, Fulham, most of the money on Brighton. And when it comes to the overs and unders, we've had 80% of the money, 58% of the tickets on the overs for that one. Wolves City, obviously we've got no team news for this one, but it's on the Premier League show. If people want to watch it, they're more than welcome to that. But your thoughts on the tea time kickoff, Nigel?
Well, I'm big Man City. -1.25 was my bet. It was -117 with Bet Rivers. It drifted all the way back out to even money. I took a bit of even money, so I don't know after time minutes before the match. They're now -105. I think Man City cover the handicap, cover the spread easy. I think they beat a Wolves side who are absolutely diabolical in the month of August.
Jack,
yeah,
that was a great stat you put on the show. Jack, what do you like, Man City Wolves?
I've gone goals there. Yeah, I went goals over 3 Asian total in that one. So I'm still happy with that. I think there is going to be plenty of goals in it. It's now -107 with Bet Rivers. There's one prop I did forget. People do like the props. So I'll quickly say it's Louis Barry, Sheffield United.
That was
I did
the
just
one.
double check. Yeah, and he is
playing?
starting. Yeah, he's starting. So I will mention it. +112 for over 1.5 shots. He had 4 shots in 65 minutes of action on match day 1. You could go even higher.
And they got beat 4-1 in that match as well.
And they did get beat 4-1 in that match. Yeah, they did. They did.
Listen, are we having a community bet here before we powered? What was it, Millwall? What's the community bet?
No, the community bet is you lot can have whoever bet you want me. I'll take it. And next week I'll be live from the Caribbean.
Do we all like Millwall? Is that what we're saying?
I'm going to give you Crew in League Two.
What for?
That's another bet.
A lot of people like Millwall on the chat.
Nowhere.
Is everyone betting Millwall today?
Jack's got Millwall. I've got Crew. What you got?
No. I want. Everyone's got to have the same bet. We win together. We lose
we're doing
together.
a parlay. Let's do a little parlay. Have a
Millwall.
Crew.
Millwall. A parlay. I've got Crew. Yeah. Jack's got Millwall. What you got?
Yeah.
Go on, Dan.
I haven't really had a look. I had Machida Zelvia this morning, 3-0 in a big game in the J League. You missed that.
Oh God! Yeah. What do you got? Come on, give us one bet. Come on.
You have Millwall, and I'll stick that.
I'll tell you what. I'll have. Let's put Brighton in. We all like Brighton. Let's put Brighton to win as well. Okay. How about that?
Brighton. There we go.
Don't be that enthusiastic.
Cut
you
that.
put them up
Cut
on
that.
the show.
Okay.
You put them up on the show. You can't believe it, can you?
Okay.
Grazy's saying Bromley at +175.
Cheek. No, he's saying Cheek the score.
Michael Cheek. Yeah.
Well, I was just I was out last night. My mate has backed Cheek and Bromley to score. Bromley to win the match and Cheek to score 10-1. That's good.
All right. FJ Football's a City -1. City -1 has to be the community bet. I might roll in. I can't bet City. That is your lot for today. Look, you got 15 minutes to get your bets on with Bet Rivers. If you've got the app open, an awful lot of soccer that you can watch as well. Really pleased that you've joined us in. It's had some really good comments. Go back over the comments. You've got 10 or 15 minutes. Got some really nice bets from a lot of you out there. Hopefully you're going to join us next Saturday because we're going to do it all again. We're going to do it over the course of the season. A lot of content is still out there, of course. We've got the European show, Premier League show, with these two when it comes to the Sunday and Monday games. Hopefully we can cash some tickets over the course of the weekend. Enjoy your Saturday afternoon if you're in the UK, Saturday morning if you're in the United States. Hopefully we'll be celebrating the community bet a little bit later on today. From myself, from Jack and from Nigel, that's your lot.